The President of the United States just told CBS News that the war with Iran is, in his words, very complete, pretty much. At the same time, Iranian projectiles continue to strike infrastructure across Gulf states. The question now is not whether American air power can destroy Iran's conventional military. It is whether declaring victory actually ends what has become the biggest oil supply disruption in history. You are watching NowBurst. This story broke hours ago, and it is still unfolding. Here is the full picture. Trump made the comments to CBS senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang on Monday. They have no Navy, no communications. They have got no Air Force, he said. Their missiles are down to a scatter. Their drones are being blown up all over the place, including their manufacturing of drones. If you look, they have nothing left. There is nothing left in a military sense. Just days ago, the message was different. On Thursday, Trump demanded Iran's unconditional surrender as the only acceptable outcome. That demand was answered not with capitulation, but with defiance. Iran named a new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the previous Ayatollah, who was killed alongside family members in the opening strikes. The new leader keeps the existing order in place, not a collapse of it. Online, reactions to Trump's Thursday demand and Monday reversal have been sharp. Some call it strategic flexibility. Others see a pattern of escalation followed by retreat and point to past reversals on tariffs. And then came the call with Putin. The Kremlin confirmed Monday that Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke by phone, with Putin presenting what Moscow called proposals for quickly ending the war. Trump's public declaration about the war being very complete arrived the same day. The timing has people watching closely. Some read it as coordination between Washington and Moscow. Others see routine diplomacy. Neither the White House nor the Kremlin has clarified the relationship between the call and Trump's public comments. Wall Street responded almost instantly. The Dow and the S&P 500, both trading down earlier Monday, reversed course after Jiang posted Trump's quotes on X. Oil, which had topped $110 a barrel as the G7 weighed an emergency reserve release, pulled back slightly. For some observers, the market swing is the point. They argue the comments are aimed at stock tickers, not battlefield conditions. Others counter that signaling an end to hostilities is exactly what a president should do, and that markets responding positively reflects real progress. But a market rally triggered by a presidential quote and an actual end to hostilities are two very different things. The Strait of Hormuz sits at the center of this gap. Roughly 20% of the world's daily oil supply passes through that waterway, and shipping data shows tanker traffic has not resumed. Iran does not need a functioning air force to keep the strait closed. It needs mines, coastal missiles, and small attack boats. Those tools are far harder to eliminate from the air than conventional forces. Whether Iran reopens that corridor depends less on how many jets it has left and more on what Tehran decides to demand in return. Iran's government did not collapse after the strikes. Intelligence assessments, according to published reports, indicate the regime remained intact, with no significant defections and no disruptions to governance. Institutions held. A new supreme leader was installed within days, and that leader now governs a country where civilian casualties from the strikes are fueling public anger. Reports of a school being struck have become a flashpoint. The circumstances and responsibility for that strike remain under investigation. Trump said Monday he has no message for the new Iranian leader. The costs are mounting on every side. American service members have been killed. Military assets, including fighter jets and advanced air defense systems, were lost.
On the Iranian side, the senior leadership was eliminated, military infrastructure was struck across the country, and civilian casualties are still being counted. The full toll on both sides remains unclear.
Now comes the part no one in Washington controls. If Iran continues to strike Gulf oil infrastructure and keeps the Strait of Hormuz closed, energy prices stay above $100 a barrel, regardless of what any leader says in an interview. If the G7 releases emergency reserves, that buys weeks, not a resolution. Some analysts argue the strikes achieve their core military objective and that Iran's conventional capability has been set back years. Others point out that a country whose new leader lost his father, his wife, and other family members in the opening salvo is unlikely to come to the table on American terms. Both of those things can be true at the same time.
Tonight, the shipping lanes through the Strait of Hormuz sit empty. No one in Washington or Tehran has said when or whether they will fill again.